Hello everyone, today I'm doing my video from my least favourite rival to my favourite rival. And I guess least favourite rival is actually the one I don't like the least, or hate in certain cases. But yeah, I'm just going through a list, and I think this is like the fifth time I've tried doing this intro, and I have just checked to make sure. I don't think I've done this video before, just because I have had a little look, and no, I don't think I have. So that's great news, because I wasn't sure if I had or not. But I'm just going to go and talk through all the rivals, and some of them I obviously haven't played the game necessary for a long time, so I'm not as remembering them as well. But yeah, I don't know. These are just my opinions. I know some of you may disagree, some of you may agree. But yeah, so yeah, and even though I've always thought Lucas and Dawn were one. They're apparently not, but they would be my least favourite one if that was the case. But so anyway, my least favourite rival, what are considered as Pokemon rivals, probably I have the list of them right here, just in case I forget, is probably Brandon or May. Okay, let's get this clear. I think they're just quite plain. They're not bad. They're a bit boring, and why I think they're the least favourite ones is because this was just the start of the trend of average to bad rivals, in my opinion, and because they were probably the first friendly one. But yeah, and they did have some good battles, but in the end they were just forgettable in Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald. However, I do think they did improve in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire with a bit more personality, you know, shown in the 3D models. But even then, they're not the greatest. But I think they're not bad rivals, but they are probably the first bad rivals, if you know what I mean. And I feel that's what the issue is. Even though I probably wouldn't really care for them that much, but because they started this trend of not very good rivals in Pokemon, I feel that this is kind of, I blame them for starting it, kind of thing. So yeah, okay. The next rival is going to be Hal. I'm hoping I'm going to remember to edit pictures in here to show you. But yeah, Hal I think is probably one of the worst rivals in existence. And you know, I get that. I'm not saying he's a bad person or anything, but and you may be thinking maybe he is probably worse than May and Brandon, but even then, I would agree, but I don't think it. I feel this is kind of he is probably the start of some, like, with the slightly getting better good rivals. I feel because Sword and Shield, I think I'll get onto their rivals in a minute, or a bit more than a minute probably. But yeah, Hal is. I have nothing really much positive. He seems friendly and kind, but I don't really care for him much, and that's the issue. He doesn't he doesn't feel like a rival. He just feels like a friend, and you know, it's good to have friends, but he just feels a waste of a potential, really. They could try something a bit more, and I think, but his story doesn't grow or anything, and it's just like, oh, really? I don't really want this, and so yeah, I haven't got anything positive to say than Hal, really. The next Pokemon rival is going to be Trace, and I've just realised I forgot to mention that Kyria and Avery from the expansion passes, because this video is made before the expansion passes come out. I'm not having them, but in this video. However, Trace is probably the next one, and I'll admit he was just not very good. I think, especially when he's replacing Blue, one of the well-known, considered to be one of the best rivals of all time. Trace just seems to be a bit of a letdown, and okay, he isn't terrible, and I think he is better than Hal. Because he doesn't show up as much, and he does feel like he does make some progress, and the story kind of like twists it, like from well, Blue was being too harsh, Trace was just being too soft and nice, and the Pokemon weren't getting anywhere. It's quite an interesting story, and I think there are positives with Trace, but yeah, if they grew his story a bit more, I think, and gave him more, I don't know, characteristics, I think it would be a lot better. I think, you know, that's the thing with positively good, upbeat rivals. I think they can be good. Even though I think more rivals who pushes you, feels like, and you want to show that, no, we are doing it right, are better. I think there is a way you can do good, well-natured rivals. But with Hal and Trace, they're not the ways how you should do it. You need to give them personality and give them like a reason why you want to like see their story through, or push them forward or whatnot, or bound them. They don't give you that at all, and yeah, I just don't think that's the issue. I think they need to push you forward for you to want to battle them, and Hal only gives me that feeling once, and you know, and Trace, I can't even remember if he ever did, but that's the issue. If they can push you slightly more, then that's good, and you know, I think that's how you need to do it. So yeah, that's just my thought on those two. But anyway, the next rival is going to probably be Tiano and Trevor. If you're wondering why I'm putting them together, it's mainly because I can't really make my decision on which one I think is better or worse. They're just so bland. One of them wants to be a dancer. He does a lot of dancing, and his Pokemon does a lot of dancing, and that's Tiano. And Trevor wants to complete the Pokedex. That's it. Okay, you know, completing the Pokedex is fine goal. It's not anything you want to get excited and like do anything, and dancing is a fun rival, but yeah, that's it. That's all you can remember them for. And considering Generation 6 has quite a few rivals, and I like that idea, like a group of rivals and stuff, and that is quite a really cool idea, and I think that could really work. However, I don't think they did a very good job at pulling that idea off. I think they needed to get all their own growth in the story, and I think with that many rivals, two of them really, these Trevor and Tiano, really didn't get anywhere further than that really, and it's a shame because I think they could have got further, and I think they could have done a really been good part of the story and stuff. They're just they're just not. They're not interesting. They're not terrible. They don't offend me. And sad, but yeah, and you also don't battle. I think Trevor, you only battle like once on his own and once in a double battle, and that's it. And Tiano, I think you battle maybe one more, a little bit more, but not much again. And I think they could have done a better job. Okay, the next rival I'm going to have is Marini. I think that's how you say it, the name. Maureen? From Sword and Shield. You can see her here anyway, probably, unless I can't find a picture of her. But, yeah, she's an interesting one. Because I think, when I saw her for the first time, I thought she has a lot of potential. I thought she could be one of my favourite rivals. But, sadly, she just isn't. That's the problem. She has so much potential, and she still has potential. I don't know. She might show up tons in the expansion pass. I don't know, but I do think she has potential to make her a more interesting character and stuff. But she doesn't show up, and she doesn't show any character growth, and you know. She's just quite surprisingly bland and forgetful. I can't remember what she really wanted. I know she battled with you near the end, with the other two rivals, Bede and Hop. Yeah, it is Hop. I'm just going to double check that. Yep, it is Hop. But yeah, I can't remember what she wanted. I know she became gym leader in the end, took over from Piers, her older brother, and I like the idea that she has something to evolve with Team Yell, who, again, I think are probably had, again, potential, but they just never got anywhere with it, and it's a shame. I think if they ever, in the future, make remakes of Sword and Shield, I feel there is a lot of potential with Marini, and I think can do something really good with the character. But as she stands on her own, I think she's the rival that had potential but never got to that potential. Next rival I would probably have to go with, I think would be probably Charon. From Black and White. I don't know. I think he isn't terrible. Again, I think he's not terrible, but he's always one of those rivals to me I can't remember much about. And I guess Black and White, it was quite a long time ago. I played the games for the first time. It's been a while since I last, played through it all. But mainly because I don't do really many repeat playthroughs. But Sharon, I know he became a gym leader in Black and White too, but I can't remember him ever what he really wanted or whatnot from Black and White, and yeah, he's not my favourite. He could be better. I haven't got much more to say about him really. He's all right. He's not terrible, but he's better than other rivals. But yeah, okay. I think the next one is probably going to be Serena or Callum. I had to check the name of the boy character because I've obviously played as the boy one character. So, and because they're like gender dependable, whatnot, I had to check. But yeah, I'm gonna go refer it more as Serena because that's always what I remember them as. But Serena anyway. They're interesting ones. I feel like they felt like they were characters and they got somewhere. But again, they didn't get much character development. I can't even say that word. Development? That word. But in the end, I think, she did get somewhere. She decided to train and learn to use Mega Evolution. It wasn't amazing, but it's just a quite basic story. But, I don't think it was too bad. I think it could have been better, but I have nothing too negative to say about her story. So the next one is going to be probably Shawna, the last Generation 6 one. And I quite like Shawna. She is probably my favourite of them, all of them, because she was just a quite memorable rival for me. And even though she was crowded with a lot of other rivals, the reason why she steps out is probably I really like the fireworks show with her, and that was just a memorable scene. It just felt like you connected quite well with her, and also I liked where she kind of felt like, even though she felt that she was weaker than you and Serena or Callum, depending. I remember like you two being like she felt like she wasn't as good, and so she kind of wanted to prove herself in a type of way. And I know I wasn't expecting her to appear when she did, and I quite liked it for that. And I feel she isn't perfect in a lot of ways, but I could see where they were going for more of not someone who maybe doesn't believe in themselves as much, but in the end is just proved in the end that she is actually quite strong. And I don't know, I quite like her. I don't think she's not perfect, but I think, out of all the other rivals, she is not terrible. I think the next rival is probably Barry. I know some people love Barry. I don't know. Barry wasn't terrible. I don't really. I know he just didn't. He was just one of those quite hyperactive characters. I can't ever remember like massively thinking, yeah, I'm really happy beating him or anything. He's just there, and yeah, I don't feel like he grows much. And yes, he was your friend, and then he becomes your rival. And even though you have a rivalry friendness with him, yeah, he's just there. I don't see much why people like him as much. I like the part though when he crash awake, something like that. I like that, like, dynamic and stuff with how he was. But you know, I think there was and I think he wasn't terrible, but yeah, I just don't find him memorable, and I just think, to me, he isn't one of my favourite rivals. Okay, so the next rival is probably Bianca. The reason why I like Bianca is because I don't know, I think she's quite a fun rival, and even though she goes through a difficulty, especially with her father not wanting to go out and catch Pokemon and stuff, and she like gets help from Erica and stuff, and I don't know, I've always, maybe because it was from the anime, I liked her there as well. I've always think, even though she's a bit clumsy and stuff in that, and in the game she isn't as much, but I just feel, I've always quite liked her from it, and she also does in the end come a like the professor's assistant and stuff, and yeah, I don't know, I think, I don't know, I've always liked her. I don't know why. It's hard to describe, and I know I could go with these things, but yeah, I just always liked her, realistically. Hugh is probably the next one, and I don't know. Him is an interesting one. I know some people find him annoying, and to be honest, I can't remember him finding him annoying, but I thought his design looks always quite cool, and I think, you know, you could see him having a bit of a goal with trying to get that Purloin, and I get what he was doing, and I kind of enjoyed his story in the end, and it wasn't, like, again, I haven't played Black and White 2 in a while, and also haven't played Black and White for a while, so I would have, it's not helpful for that case, but I think he was a pretty good rival. Not the best, but yeah, I quite liked him. I haven't got much more to say about him, really, so that's positive. But yeah, the next rival I would probably go would be Wally, I think, and I quite like Wally. He was one of the first more friendly rivals, but you know, he felt like he was quite weak, especially near the beginning of the games. But you felt like you were with him through the story, even if you didn't see him as very much. He was around, and you know, I quite enjoyed it. It was a slow but fun time, and I know in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, where I kind of got introduced to him a bit more then than in Emerald, and I know I haven't played Ruby and Sapphire, but I have played Emerald, and yeah, I think, you know, I like the story that he had, and from being this quite young, sick child to just as young, slightly older, but also, and still sick, but better child, and yeah, so he has quite a nice little story, and yeah, he kind of, you can see how he grows, even if you don't see him much. I feel there's, like, over the game, it feels like he's always been there in the background, training along with you, and I really like that. I don't know how they did it, but he always does, and I think maybe it's because it's quite clever, and also it's quite cool that you can see he disobeyed his I think it was his uncle because I know he ran off at one point, and that's just a little, like, Easter egg thing if you found it, type thing. It's quite cool that I can't remember exactly when he did, but you know, pretty cool. And so yeah, that's Wally is pretty good to place there, I feel. Okay, the next one I would probably go with is Hop, and so he is probably my favourite friendly rival, I would say. The reason is because I really liked his story. Yes, he was still quite friendly, and I think people were hoping he would go, like, in a different way, like maybe because his older brother Leon is the champion, so he might be a bit more feisty. But actually, I think how they did it was really well executed for the story, and from him just being this, like, sort of weakish, always been weak, but he tried to, like, he got, you can tell like the pressure for being the younger brother of Leon and stuff, and not letting his guard down or anything. And when he does lose, it builds up on him and stuff. And and then like I feel at the end of the game, he kind of becomes his own type of thing. He realizes he doesn't really want to actually be Pokemon champion in the end. He actually just kind of wants to be a professor, and so he becomes can't think of her name. The assistant. So I can't think. It begins with S. Serena? No, it's not Serena. Serena? Something I can't think of her name. But she, I remember that was like, it felt like Hop grew from being quite weak and having all that pressure built up from knowing that he is meant to be representing the family, and he is like the younger brother to Leon, and he didn't want to let his brother down, but in the end he realised doesn't have to be Leon. He can be himself, and he can have his own dreams. He doesn't have to represent the family. And I feel that is I really like the story, and I think I really liked it. I think it was really well executed, and I think that is how you need to do a friendly rival, in a way that you feel sorry for them, but you don't feel like they're being friendly because they are and stuff. I think, but they have their own personality, and that I feel Hop is one of the best friendly rivals because they kind of show these types of things, and that's what I like about it. Okay, so yeah, I think that is all I can say about Hop, and so the next one is also a Galarian rifle, and the only last one is Beat, I think that's how you say it, Beat, yeah, the old granny, what people like to refer to him as. Okay, he is an interesting one, because he is not a friendly rival, and I think I really like his story in it. I think, though, they could have executed it slightly better, but I think overall his story is pretty good, from being, like, he has, like, this quite powerful moment with Chairman Rose, because he always wanted to, like, show he's, like, really good, make Chairman Rose proud of him after giving the endorsement. And I think, and that's kind of his goal throughout, but when he destroys the statues and stuff, and Chairman Rose, even though he is the villain, you do feel for Beat that, they did it pretty, he was wrong and stuff, and yeah, you feel like, yes, you're beating him and stuff, and he is wrong, and, I think throughout the whole time, even after he realizes and stuff, and then he becomes the fairy gym leader, I feel this whole arc of his is pretty good. I think it could have been better if they, you got to know the character more and stuff, but I think overall he is a pretty good rival, and I think, that's really all I can say, really, about him. I think, yeah, that's all, really, and so, yeah, I really like him. Gladion is probably my, is the next one, and he came from the time when people were really wanting a bad rival, and even when he came out, people still didn't consider him as a rival, but come on, he is definitely a rival, and he is an awesome one at best, I feel, and the reason is because he does a lot of bad things. He even joins up with the evil team, and he feels abandoned and stuff, and I don't know, I really liked him for his role, and I think that's the great thing about Gladion. You can see why he is the way he is, because of what his mother's done to him, and because she was a bit of a control freak in Sun and Moon. I'm mainly talking about Sun and Moon Gladion. I think in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon he was less good, I'll be honest. I think Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon's story is less good overall, but in Sun and Moon, you could see how, despite what his mother did to him, he became the character he was, and I really liked him for that, and he has this awesome Pokemon, and he has all these other things, and it's just, he just, over time, you can see why he is like that, but at the same time, you want him, you do have to beat him, but you know, and you feel sorry for him in a lot of ways, but you don't feel like but you still hate him for what he does and stuff. So yeah, and I think that is a good rival. I really think he's a very good rival, because he has morals and he's trying to do the right thing, but just in such a wrong way. And he also wants to separate himself to his family and everyone around him. But I think in the end he kind of learns that no, he has to accept people around him and be himself. And that's, I think he had a great story, and I really liked it for that. So yeah, that's probably he's really good. So now the next two, who is it going to be? And it's going to be Blue. Okay, come on, Blue is a great rival. Everyone knows who he is. He is this really annoying in the first game, and he's annoying probably every game he's been in, but you like him for it, and especially and you feel like you want to beat him. He has no reason to be such a jerk. He just is. And so over the game, and you know, he realizes at the end of Red and Blue and Yellow and Green, and Fire Red and Leaf Green, because I know if I don't put all these games in, someone's going to tell me, well, he was also in this game, that game, and so he realizes that he was wrong, and how he and stuff. He learns a lesson. You must treat the Pokemon nice and be nicer, and they will do better. And you know, it gives a good story to his life. And you know, even in like the next games, also games like in Pokemon Gold and Silver Crystal, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, he was pretty. He was pretty good. You could see how he's grown over time and become more of a nicer person. But even so, he still has his character. He's still not like this full-hearted nice guy, but he's nicer to the people around him. But at the same time, he is not the goody good shoes, if you know what I mean. And I like that about him. He's always had this bit of an edge to him, even in the the newest games he's been in, well, other than Pokemon Masters, and that being Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee. And you can even, though he's gotten older and more clever, wiser and stuff, but you still see his, you know, bit meaner toner and stuff, and at times, and you know, you like him for it, even if he isn't good and stuff. You can see the growth he's had with all the games, even in Sun and Moon and stuff, where he's quite friendly with Red, but he still makes a bit of fun of him because he's always quiet, and you get the idea. He's a great rival. I don't know why I'm explaining it to him, but yes, he's from when you start with him to when he ends. You can see the progress in the story and him growing older and wiser and better as a person. And I think that's a good thing. Talking about better as a person, the final and I think, in my opinion, my favourite rival is Silver. Or whatever else some people call him. But yeah, Silver, come on. Loads of people love Silver because he is just, if you think a lot of these like meaner rivals are bad, they're nothing compared to Silver. He literally just steals Pokemon. And like, in fact, he stole the final Pokemon, that one of the Pokemon in the lab and stuff in the Pokemon Gold and Silver and Crystal and the remakes and stuff. He's just, come on, yeah. He's just like, you know, he has this grudge against Team Rocket, and he's just like, I'm gonna beat you and stuff. And yeah, he has this story, and he doesn't like. he doesn't like you and stuff, and you don't like him either. And though when he finally beats it and stuff, he does start to, like, after a while, to understand you as a trainer. And I think his story like that is pretty good, and they really did a good job with it in the remakes. In fact, they Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I think they expanded it vastly superior. Like, you get to learn, if you have a Celebi, that he's actually also the son of Giovanni, so that explains why he hates Team Rocket, and also explains why he doesn't, why he treats his Pokemon in a bad way, and also these things. And also in the post game, he shows how these doing these like training and stuff, and in fact, his Pokemon evolve from happiness, and because, you know, like, he respects you as a trainer, if you know, at the end. And that, I think, is just amazing, and I think that is he's a great rival. That's why a lot of other people really like him, and he's my favourite rival. So yeah, I think that's all the rivals, and thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, I hope that all went well. So yeah, goodbye.